Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sip and Talk. Our friend Micky has been absolutely buzzing in our ear lately, totally hyped about the new Black Mirror Season 7.
Ah, yes, Black Mirror. 6 new episodes, apparently.
6 episodes of that dark, twisty stuff, yeah. And he's saying it's a return to form, that the Black Mirror soul is bija.
Okay, high praise from Micky. He was especially fixated on one episode, right? Common people.
He could not stop talking about common people, seriously.
Well, for anyone who maybe hasn't dipped their toes into the Black Mirror pool yet,
yeah.
Picture this. It's a show that looks at technology, where it might go, but usually through a pretty dark, often satirical lens.
Definitely dark. It really makes you think, sometimes in ways that are pretty uncomfortable, actually.
For sure. And something interesting this season, Season 7, is they're apparently doing sequel-style stuff, bringing back characters.
Exactly. That's got a lot of people talking. It's like, remember Nanette Cole from USS Callister? Kristen Milioti.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant episode. Brilliant performance.
She's back. But look, Micky's obsession with common people, it really got us thinking about something specific within the show.
Right. It kind of sparked this whole line of thought for us, especially around how Black Mirror, and maybe this episode in particular, deals with advertising, its influence, and maybe even more, how we imagine its influence growing.
Yeah, the future of it. So that's the rabbit hole we're jumping into with you today.
And our mission, as always on the deep dive, is to pull out those core ideas, those moments that make you go, huh, without getting totally bogged down in, like, every single plot point.
Not a tech manual.
Yeah.
So yeah, Micky loved the whole season, thinks it recaptures that old vibe. 6 episodes to potentially mess with your sleep schedule.
And common people. Okay, let's dive into that one. The setup involves a woman, Amanda, who needs brain surgery. Pretty serious stuff.
Okay.
And this company, Rivermind, steps in and offers the surgery, synthetic brain parts included, for free.
Free brain surgery. Okay, red flag immediately. Especially in Black Mirror, what's the catch? There's always a catch.
Oh, there's a catch, all right. Rivermind's entire business model runs on subscriptions.
Subscriptions, of course.
So Amanda gets the surgery. She's functional, but to really live, to have a decent range of activity, to skip the constant ads they pump in, to avoid annoying system downtimes for maintenance.
She has to pay up. Tiered plans.
Exactly. Increasingly expensive tiers. It's like basic brain functions held ransom behind a paywall.
Ugh, that feels so icky. Your ability to just be costs money.
It gets worse. Here's the really unsettling part. Rivermind isn't just charging for features. They're actively using the user's idle brain power.
Using their brain power. How? For what?
For computation. Think of it like you're computer mining crypto in the background, but it's your brain. Doing complex calculations for Rivermind's benefit, maybe even helping power features for the premium users.
Whoa, wait. So when you're just spacing out watching TV, trying to sleep, part of your mind is basically being rented out without you really knowing or controlling it.
That's the core of it. It feels like this profound violation, doesn't it?
It feels like you don't even own yourself anymore. That fundamental sense of privacy, of owning your own thoughts, gone.
Exactly that feeling. That loss of ownership. It links directly to this concept we came across, the devil's bargain.
Okay, explain that.
You trade something fundamental in this case, your cognitive autonomy, your brain power, for a service that seems beneficial, like free surgery.
But the cost is way higher than you realize at first.
Precisely. It's this trade-off we see more and more with tech, right? Convenience now, but what are we slowly giving up in the long run? Autonomy. Privacy.
And I bet the exploitation doesn't stop with just renting out your brain cycles.
Not at all. Things that should be basic, like traveling. If you go beyond the standard plan's signal range, extra fees.
You have to pay more, see more of the world.
Yep. More freedom costs more money. It's this constant demoralizing nickel and diming of just living.
And then come the upgrades. I remember Micky mentioning some really messed up sounding upgrades.
Oh, yeah. They offer options to literally control your mood, your feelings, even fine-tune your sensory experiences.
So the things meant to enhance your life actually just trap you further in their system.
Exactly. They become golden handcuffs. And it creates this awful divide that those who can pay get these like unnatural advantages, smoother emotions, whatever. Those who can't, they face even more exploitation to try and keep up.
A neurotech class system.
Yeah.
That's chilling.
Super chilling. And it pushes Amanda's partner, Liam, to some incredibly dark places to try and afford these upgrades for her.
Right. This is where it gets really grim, isn't it?
Truly desperate. He ends up on this online platform basically performing for viewers who pay to watch degrading stuff.
Oh, God.
It starts kind of weird, like drinking urine But after meticulously cleaning the glass, which is such a weird detail, but then it escalates fast. Self-harm, like using a rat trap on his tongue.
Jeez.
Eventually, he even gives up his anonymity, takes off his mask, doing even more humiliating things just for the money.
It's just this downward spiral of exploitation fueled by the system itself.
And it highlights how far people might be pushed when they feel trapped, when basic needs or desires are locked behind unaffordable walls. Makes you think about how real-world advertising sometimes plays on insecurities, too.
Absolutely. And even after all that horror, they don't get a happy ending, do they?
Tragically, no. They scrape together enough for these temporary passes, like brief moments of a better life, but it's fleeting.
Not sustainable.
Not at all. And in the end, Amanda, she chooses death as the only way out, the only real escape from the system.
Wow. That's bleak. It really hammers home that feeling of being trapped. You know, like those terms and conditions we all click agree on. Are we making tiny devil's bargains every day without realizing the full cost down the line?
It's a scary thought.
Yeah.
The core horror Micky felt, and I think many viewers feel, is your brain yourself no longer being truly yours and needing insane money just for basic living, let alone enhancements.
It definitely makes you question the free services we use online, what the real price is.
Which neatly brings us to another aspect that really disturbed people in that episode. The forced advertising.
Oh, man, yeah. Micky mentioned that specifically. Amanda is literally forced to recite ad slogans, like compelled.
Yeah, it's presented as straight-up psychological torture, a complete breakdown of her identity, forced to be a mouthpiece for corporations.
That's nightmare fuel.
And the show explicitly links it to that devil's agreement idea again. It's not just annoying ads, it's a fundamental violation, losing your voice, yourself.
It's an extreme version, but it makes you think about regular advertising, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Its whole purpose is persuasion, manipulation to some extent.
Right, it's trying to get inside our heads, create desires, make us feel we need something.
Have you ever felt, I don't know, kind of brainwashed by an ad, bought something on impulse that just wasn't worth it?
Oh, absolutely. I fell for this ridiculously overpriced water bottle once because every fitness influencer seemed to have one. Used it for a week. Now it mockingly stares at me from the back of the cupboard.
Huh. I did the same with some miracle cleaning product from a late-night infomercial. Total junk. You feel so stupid afterwards, like you fell for the oldest trick in the book.
And advertising is just everywhere now, isn't it? Social media feeds, those targeted ads that seem to read your mind.
Seriously, it feels like an invisible contract sometimes. You browse something and bam, ads for it follow you for weeks.
Yeah.
All driven by these complex algorithms figuring you out.
Which raises that big question. How much is really free will when we're constantly nudged and persuaded by forces we barely understand?
Yeah. Do you have any ads that just drive you crazy? Or ones that are weirdly memorable even if you hate them?
Oh, definitely. There's a local lawyer ad with a jingle so bad it somehow burrowed its way into my permanent memory. I'll catch myself humming it. It's infuriating.
Huh. Mine is for some medication side effects list that's longer than the actual ad. It's not catchy, just alarming. It's like low-level psychological warfare. Maybe not Black Mirror torture, but still annoying.
Yeah, not quite reciting slogans under duress yet.
So going back to common people, and that devil's contract feeling. Not a one-time deal, is it?
No, that's key. Every payment, every upgrade Amanda makes binds her tighter to Rivermind. It's like she's constantly selling off little pieces of herself, getting deeper and deeper in debt, not just financially, but existentially.
Right, like she's on this treadmill she can never get off, just paying to function.
And that feeling, that metaphor, it resonates beyond the show, doesn't it?
No.
Think about real-world compromises. Things people do for jobs, for money, just to get by.
You see that desperation, that feeling of having no way back in real life, too. People feeling trapped in situations, in debt cycles, in bad jobs.
It can feel like a downward spiral you can't escape.
It even makes me think about social media sometimes. How much are we performing? Curating this perfect life?
That's a great point. Is there a pressure to present a certain version of ourselves online, even if it's not quite real? Are we sometimes acting a part rather than being authentic?
And does that performance over time start to consume the real you? That feels like a very Black Mirror fear that also hits close to home.
Definitely. Both in the show's extreme scenarios and in our everyday online lives, there's that anxiety about losing touch with our genuine selves.
And that forced ad scene. You mentioned the atmosphere. Amanda's helplessness, the coldness, the robotic repetition.
It's that psychological dread. It's not jump scares. It's the chilling feeling of this could happen, the loss of control over your own mind. That's the real horror.
It really taps into something deeper than just gore or monsters.
And it makes you think about real-world pressures, like you said before. Workplace situations where you bite your tongue or say things you don't mean.
Or social pressures to fit in, to parrot opinions you don't really hold.
Have you ever felt like you were just reading lines? Playing a role that wasn't really you?
Oh, for sure. Certain family gatherings, maybe. Or networking events where you put on the professional mask and say all the right things, even if you're internally screaming.
Exactly. It's a milder version, but that feeling of inauthenticity, of being bound by a script, is relatable.
And the Black Mirror scene takes that feeling and turns it into pure satire, right? Advertising is meant to be appealing, seductive.
And here it becomes an instrument of torture. It's the ultimate ironic twist on consumer culture.
It skewers the whole idea of advertising so effectively. The thing designed to make us want becomes a punishment.
And it makes the absurdity of some real-world ads stand out even more, doesn't it? The perfect lifestyles, the products solving all your problems.
The over-the-top emotional manipulation.
The show just takes those existing manipulative tendencies and dials them up to 11, showing us a potential terrifying endpoint.
Which makes you genuinely wonder, could it get that bad? AI writing ads just for you, maybe targeting your dreams? That sounds insane, but...
Well, look at where we are now. Ads tailored to every click, every search. Privacy concerns are huge. Data is the new oil, right? We hear about platforms collecting vast amounts of user data, sometimes without much transparency.
It feels like we're already halfway there. That constant monitoring, the feeling that algorithms know you better than you know yourself sometimes. Are you optimistic or pessimistic about where this is heading?
Honestly, it's hard to be purely optimistic. The potential for manipulation, for information overload, for losing individuality, it feels like a real risk. Studies show attention spans are dropping. AI can predict behavior with scary accuracy.
Yeah, it feels more like we're sliding towards the Black Mirror version, maybe slower, but still. It's easy to see the downsides. The psychological pressure, the way it can amplify social divisions, making people feel inadequate if they can't afford the latest thing.
But then there are upsides argued too, right? Advertising does transmit information, gives us choices, drives the economy. Billions, trillions spent globally. It supports media, creates jobs.
True. It's not all bad. It can even reflect or shape culture in positive ways sometimes, promoting certain values or awareness. Some stats show people respond well to ads showing real-life scenarios.
So it's this constant tension. The economic engine and information tool versus the potential for manipulation, privacy erosion, and making us feel worse about ourselves.
It comes back to that devil's bargain, doesn't it? What are we willing to trade for the convenience, the information, the entertainment that advertising often funds?
Exactly. So thinking back to Micky's excitement about common people, it seems like it struck such a chord because it crystallizes these anxieties we have about technology, control, and commerce colliding in really intimate ways.
Absolutely. It takes current trends, subscriptions, data mining, targeted influence, and pushes them to a horrifying extreme that makes you stop and think, whoa, could we end up there?
It's that distorted mirror effect Black Mirror does so well. Makes us look harder at our own reality.
Okay, so as we start to wrap up this deep dive with you all, here's something to mull over, a final provocation. Let's say AI could perfectly filter your ads, only show you things you truly wanted or needed. Sounds efficient, maybe even desirable.
Yeah, it cuts out the noise.
But what if that perfect efficiency also walls you off from discovering things outside your predicted interests? Does perfect relevance kill serendipity? Does it narrow your world?
That's a great question. Does hyper-personalization ultimately limit us, even as it serves us?
These are the kinds of chewy questions Black Mirror leaves you with, and hopefully our chat today has got your own mental gears turning too.
We hope it gave you some interesting angles to consider.
So, you, our awesome listener, keep pondering. What does this intersection of tech, advertising, and humanity mean in your life? Thanks so much for diving deep with us today.
It's always fascinating exploring these ideas.
And hey, while you're thinking deep thoughts, maybe lighten things up and check out our friend Micky's YouTube channel, Mickytolife. He posts some really fun stuff over there. Definitely less existential dread involved.
Good recommendation.
Until next time, keep questioning.